how did you overcome like the fear of rejection when starting out with lead generation?
Realizing that like enough effort like will iron out your own pitch and you'll see what works and what doesn't. I just had to get out of my own head. Like a lot of the times we're standing in our own way like to get through the door and we don't realize it.
This is the After Brief, except instead of boring bullet points and corporate jargon, you're getting the real stories, strategies, and insider tips that make real businesses grow. We're taking the stuff most people keep off the record and turning the mic on.
Welcome back to the After Brief. Today I am so excited. We have a very, very special guest, Nicole Falcone of Synced Digital Marketing, one of our clients inside of Charm Collective, a very new client. And I'm just so excited to have you here to share your experience of launching a marketing agency, what brought you to that decision, and what brought you into our world ultimately. So thank you so much for joining us, Nicole.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I'm glad I was able to be here. And I'm excited for where Charm's going to take me.
Yay, same here. So you live in New York and you work with luxury brands.
Yes, ideally, yes. So I started Sync Digital Marketing with the idea that I wanted to focus on businesses that I could really have a personal relationship with. I wanted to give back somehow, but within reason, you know. I wanted to work with people that felt like real people that I could really connect with and like whose businesses like vision I stood behind. So that was the goal. And then I think, you know, like once you get started, you kind of do a little bit of everything and then you kind of assess from there where you want to go and how you want to take the business. So it's been a really cool journey, like leading up to where I am now.
Amazing. And I saw you celebrated your 1-year anniversary recently.
Yes. This past February was 1 year of Sync Digital Marketing. So God is good. I am very happy.
Amazing. Almost at a year and a half.
Yeah,
baby.
now,
Amazing. And what were you doing prior to launching? What were you doing prior and how did you come to the decision to launch your own marketing agency?
Yeah. So I actually ran my sister's mental health practice. Okay. So I worked for her for about 3 years and I handled the marketing for her business. And that's where I really got a taste of what the marketing world was like. And I realized how vast it was. At the time, I was just doing it for mental health, which was great. I understood it and I could get behind the vision. And then I kind of got a taste for more. And that's when I realized I really wanted something that I could build just past, you know, 1 or 2 clients, like really get myself into opening something that was way bigger than myself. So after working with my sister, I kind of had an off period where I was bartending for a while. I was doing real estate and like, I was kind of in my head. I was like, can I do this? Like, what's the path for me? And my boyfriend, who's actually the videographer for my company, he was super encouraging. He's like, if anybody could do this, it's you. Aww. Like he's the best. Like seriously.
Love a supportive
He really is.
partner.
He really is the best. And seeing him go through his growth phase for his business, starting his media company was so encouraging for me because he took that leap and, you know, I encouraged him through that. And then he did the same back for me, which was amazing. So, so I decided that I wanted to start working maybe with restaurants because I had worked in the restaurant industry for a long time. So I knew how to market it. Mm-hmm. So that was my first goal. And trying to get my first clients without having a single client was terrifying. Yeah. So I would like always have a redirective question whenever I'd go like on a sales call or meet with people because they'd always ask me like, so who do you work with now? And I was like, oh yeah, you know, like I'm really familiar with a lot of like local businesses where we live. And I would just like shift because I didn't want to focus on that for too long. I'm like, I can do this. So getting my first client was definitely nerve wracking. But after that, like the momentum started coming. I started just networking with people that I knew because I'm born and raised in Staten Island. It's very small. Like I always say Staten Island is like its own country. Like everybody knows your bloodline, where you're from, who's your best friend, where you went to school. Like it's just very small, which worked in my favor, I think. So my boyfriend and I had worked together on a lot of clients and that's how I started to build the momentum for Sync. And it basically kind of took off from there. It started to become like a kind of on a referral basis pretty quickly. And then I pretty much stopped doing all other like side projects, real estate, bartending, anything. I was able to do that in I think like 3 or 4 months.
Wow, that's incredible. I think that was so important that you said like the imposter syndrome was, rearing its head. Like, who am I to do this? Like, do I actually know what I'm doing? And now a year and a half later, you have like a super successful marketing business that most people would like dream of having, So I think it's like, no matter how talented you are, when you're going to do something new that you've never done before, you're always going to have those thoughts in your head. So anybody that's listening to this, that's like, okay, I know I have experience, but like, can I really do this? Like you need to give yourself more credit, I think. So I'm so glad that you had such like a supportive partner, because who knows where you would be if he hadn't been like, Nicole, you can do this. You got this.
No, you hit it right on the head, because it was the push that I really, really needed. I will say my family was phenomenal too. Like I came from a family of business owners. So seeing all of them have their businesses, you should see, like I'm the baby of the family. So everyone's got an opinion of how I should do this, what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right. And it's bittersweet. Like it's great because I had the support, but nerve-wracking being the baby, like trying to start my business without having so many opinions in my head. But my family was really great and supportive during that whole process. They always have been. I went through a period of time when I was kind of right about my associate's degree. And I was like, I don't want to own a business. I want something steady. I want the pay to be the same. Like I wanted security. That's what I kept telling myself. And then I realized over time that this is going to sound bad, but that's like the least secure thing you can do is bet on somebody else.
100%.
Like
I always say that you can never get fired from your own company.
Right. Like I'd much rather bet on myself and the choices I make than being a statistic in somebody's layoff.
Oh, 100%.
I don't want to do that. And so that's what I think what gave me the push too. So,
I love that you just said that, because I have said that for years. Like your own business is the most stability you're ever going to get.
Yeah.
Like you aren't in control of somebody else's decisions in another company, a statistic in their layoff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can grow as much as you want. There's no ceiling when it's yourself.
Exactly. And that's what I love. Like, where do you grow from when you're looking at maybe like a 2% pay increase per year? How are you going to grow from that? Like you just stay very capped and limited. And I don't work well in environments like that. No. I knew it wasn't going to be sustainable for me to stay in something like that. So growing to where I am now, it just feels like a dream. Sometimes I'm like, is this really my life? Like, did I get here? Like it still shocks me, but like I said, God is good. I'm so grateful looking at the last year and a half and seeing like where I can go from there. So
I mean, we're just getting started.
I know,
which is so exciting.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit, because I'm sure people that are just getting started want to hear like a little bit more about like, so it sounds like you did a lot of networking, which is incredible in your area. And so you landed that first client on a hope and a prayer. You were putting yourself out there.
Yeah, I actually DM'd them. That's like how I got the client. They were a new bar opening on Staten Island. And something I learned in sales very early was like, this is going to, again, sound bad, but no one cares about all the amazing things you can do if you're not hitting their pain point. Like if you're not talking to the client about what's important to them. Like I knew there was a bar, right? And it was like a cocktail loungy bar, and we don't have a lot of those there. So I really emphasized how unique that was, because I realized how important that was to the client with their liquor selections, how they were bringing something new that we don't really hear of where I live. So I really tried to hone in on that and understand their story. And I think that's really what got my foot in the door.
Absolutely.
So.
Rather than a copy paste message that's not personalized at all. Like, hey, I am Nicole. I do social media marketing. Would you like to work with me?
Right.
Like I cringe at those. I love that. So you took the time to do the research on the business. You talked to them about how customized and personalized they are. And then what did you say in terms, obviously you don't need to pull up that exact DM, but like, how did you position yourself as the expert to support them in getting more butts and seats, essentially, is what they want, right?
Yeah, I think I said something, this is almost a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago now, but something along the lines of like, hey, I just saw that you guys had your soft opening. Congratulations on your new business. I would really love to come by and check it out. Just a little bit about me. This is what I specialize in, but I found your business to be very unique. Staten Island doesn't really have something like this. And I think with the right creative marketing, like we can really get some new people through the door. How's Tuesday next week? And I tried to just set the appointment and see where that went. And they took it. So
love. And I think that's like people are I'm so happy that we're talking about this because I love that because you're putting yourself in the driver's seat of your business where a lot of people are like, well, I just want leads to come to me, which of course we all want that. And eventually we can get there. But in the beginning, I think a lot of times people take this like passenger princess mentality to scaling their business. And what you just did is put yourself in the driver's seat. Hey, I see somebody, I see that you have a need. I know that I'm the best person to support you with X because Y, and like, let's chat. And then you're opening the door. And I think people are just so afraid of rejection. But truly, it's just like a relationship where it's like the timing and the place need to be appropriate for this to work out. So ultimately, you hit the nail on the head and it was the right time, the right place, right? And so I think like how did you overcome like the fear of rejection when starting out with lead generation?
I'll be super honest with you. Prayer was number one. I was like, God, just give me the words today. Like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but direct me. That was number one. And two was thinking about like the worst they could say is no or like non-answer. And like at first with at least DMs, like it made me less nervous. And then eventually I was kind of going into businesses and trying to build relationships. Having a warm lead was great because at least people that I knew or had networked with in the past or knew someone I knew, which like I said is very easy in Staten Island, made it a lot easier. But yeah, I think just realizing that like enough effort like will iron out your own pitch and you'll see what works and what doesn't. I just had to get out of my own head. Like a lot of the times we're standing in our own way, like to get through the door and we don't realize it.
Absolutely. And my thought process too, I remember my dad's girlfriend growing up always said like, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And like, so what's the harm in getting a no? At least I put in effort, but what if the thing that I didn't ask was a yes?
Yeah.
And so ask. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that you said that because I always say, what's the quote? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
And that always like made me feel crappy to think about. Like if I didn't do something or didn't take the chance, I would never know. At least I'll know. Because the unknown I think is scarier than having a definitive no. It's like, all right, at least I tried. And the answer was no, rather than some hypothetical scenario I make up in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I always say that for leads now too. It's like, we would rather a strong no than I'm like, maybe, because then like our team has to still follow up and nurture. And of course, but like, we want to know if you're like 100% yes or 100% no, like either way, no, it's fine. But it just like helps us with our processes. So I think that gives you some closure as well. Like what you're saying, like, okay, not this business. I'm not going to follow up with them anymore, but it might be another business and go in that avenue. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of trial and error too. Like just and at least in the beginning, like once you iron out like the procedure of how you like to do things, it's much more smooth. But in the beginning, I was just trying to see like what was going to get the response, what was going to motivate that client to at least want to write me back and have a conversation. So that's why I tried to keep it as personal as I could. I cannot stand the expression like it's nothing personal, it's just business. For whatever reason, it just doesn't sit right with me because I feel like business is so personal. Like everybody has a personal reason why they started their business. So understanding that, like you're trying to gain somebody's trust. This is their baby.
Yeah.
Like they really need to trust you. And if I'm looking at them or treating them like it's just a business transaction, like why would they give me their trust?
Absolutely. And I think the personalization is so important. I'm sure you do as well as I get so many copy paste DMs every single day. And I'm like, you know nothing about my business. Like you haven't looked at my bio. You don't look at any of my content. Like why? And then what really frustrates me with those is sometimes they'll be like, there's almost like an expectation that I have to respond to this person. Like they put it on me. And I'm like, that is frustrating for me because I'm so busy. Like, don't make me feel bad for not responding to your copy paste DM strategy. Like it's not working. And personalization is so important. Like those little tweaks and also following something that works for like your own personality. Right. Like we teach a lot of different strategies for lead generation. And some people are like, I don't like this. Like, great. It's great that you know that you don't like it. Let's tweak it and figure out how to make it something that you do like. Because if you can't stand behind it, you're not going to get the results that you want from
100%.
it.
I think that's the wall that people hit. It's like, well, I'm afraid of this part and I don't like doing this uncomfortable thing and I don't like doing that. And you're never going to get past that wall unless you figure out a new way to get around it. Like you were saying, like it's not just limited to a black and white process. Like you can build your own process of getting there. And I actually really wanted to applaud your guys' nurturing system and the way that you follow up with leads, because that's why I'm here. You know, I had seen an ad and then I made the inquiry online, and then I don't know, I swiped out of it. I was filling out the application and I got busy. And then if it wasn't for whoever reached out to me at first, I wouldn't be here, you know, having that conversation and keeping the lead going, keeping it personal. I was like, you know what, like this is for me, like, let's do this. And I was so grateful that you guys did that. Like you were right on it. Like you guys didn't miss a beat. So
yeah, I love that. And I think that is, a lot of people think sales is cringy or like icky, and we love sales. And I think when you can look at it as it is relationship building, it's about figuring out who this individual is and if we can support them. And if so, like it's our duty to have the conversation and to do the outreaches. And so a lot of a few comments in Charm Collective this week have been like, I don't know how to not feel cringy about DM. So we're actually having Brooke, who does a lot of our Instagram outreach, come in and do a sales training on like how to create non-cringy sales flows in Messenger, because so many people are scared to even get started. But as you said, you're like, thank you for doing that, because I wouldn't be here if you didn't do that. And it's like, how can you change your perspective on sales and outreach to being like, I'm supporting other people accomplish their dreams and their goals?
Yeah, 100%. And also like you said before, like you're positioning yourself in power, like to lead the conversation, right? Like a lot of people, when they get a DM, if it doesn't have the right direction or the right call to action or the right next step, like you're just leaving people in the dark.
Yeah.
Like they don't know how to move forward, how to respond. You know, I try never to like end with just a final point on something. I try to just like keep the conversation going, ask more questions. Like that's how you get to know people in their business. And that's how you guys got to know me.
Yeah, so. I love that. I always literally refer to dating. Like, you know, when you were like dating in high school, college, whatever, like you never want to end the conversation. Yeah. So you ask a question to keep it going. But I feel like so many times people are just so nervous that like all common sense goes out the window.
It's true. You can get in your head really easily. So mindset is super important.
Yeah, I love. So where are you headed now? Like, what are your next goals for your business?
So over the last year and a half, I think I really realized what type of clients I like want to shift towards. And that's why the luxury market has been what I've been trying to shift my business more towards. Once I had my first like celebrity clientele, like luxury, the hair brand, things like that, I really realized like how much more I could do for something like that because I'm more passionate about it. Not to say that like I haven't had great experiences with past clients, but I realized it's okay to direct where I want my business to go. Like I do a lot of feeling bad and wanting to help and wanting to this, and it becomes counterproductive to a certain extent.
Totally.
And just kind of works against me. You know, Presley and I were actually talking about this during our first one-on-one call. And I was saying, I'm so grateful, you know, I have all these referrals and people coming my way. And she's like, love that. So cool. Are they your ideal client? And I was like, wow, she clocked me.
Yeah.
Like I was not ready for that. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
She's like, well, this is where we start to like, oh, it's a friend of a friend, or I'll give them a discount because I know them, or I want to help them. She's like, your heart's in the right place, but you can have the business that you want coming to you.
Yeah.
And that just like, that was, I think, what solidified me really wanting to do Charm Collective was her understanding, you know, what I was struggling with. And she could see right through it. She knew everything I was going through. It wasn't like some copy paste, let's scale your business for like all different types of people. Totally. Like this being so honed in on marketing, I was like, I don't have to explain the basics of this. You understand everything. You've already seen those mistakes and been there. And it's lonely when you're the only person like on charge of your business. I was just saying that to her, I think last week, how lonely that is, and how just having the support from Charm alone has been so eye-opening and helped me in conversations with my clients already. And just giving me that confidence back in some of those areas that I was still lacking.
I love that so much. I literally have chills. I think what is something that is always stuck in my mind is Tony Robbins saying like, you can help way more people when you're wildly wealthy. Like if I want to build an orphanage one day, like I can like give to my causes rather than right now, like what we often want to do is like be a martyr where it's like, well, I'm going to help this person because I care so much about them. And this is a friend of a friend and I want to help and I want to help everybody. And it's like, yeah, but then you might be able to help 10 people, 20 people. But like once you're making 7-8 figures a year, think about how many more people you can help at that point where it's like, we got to get you there. So you're not focused on helping everybody by giving them a discount, but we're helping the masses, which is truly like where impact happens.
It's so true. And I think that surrounding yourself with the right people is how you get there, because that's what I think the charm has really been doing for me. Like having people that work normal 9-to-5s in my ear all day long is difficult, because that's great that that's what they know, but how is that helping me succeed? Like I need other entrepreneurs, business owners to bounce ideas off of and encourage me when I'm starting to get that imposter syndrome and help me see the bigger picture instead of seeing small. Like at first I was thinking, okay, I can do real estate and then this will pay my bills so I could focus on real estate. Like my boyfriend clocked me. He was like, you're not going to be able to do both, but I'm here for you until you realize that. I'm like, no, it's going to be great. Watch. So I think like a month ago, I finally admitted it. I was like, so I don't really care about real estate anymore. He's like, really? I kept telling myself I could do both and do all this stuff. But I wanted to, like you said, like I want to do more. I want to help more people. And like you said, like getting yourself to that place of financial freedom. Like now you have the freedom to help the people you want rather than feeling like you're exhausting everything of yourself to do the bare minimum.
I love your boyfriend, by the way. Sounds great.
His name is Matt, by the way. Matthew Simone Media, everybody.
We love you. No, that makes sense though. And I think a lot of people experience that where they just want to help. So they're cutting here. And it's ultimately them becoming a martyr rather than like making the massive impact. So what stuck out to you? You kind of said like community was really important, which I totally agree, which is one of the whole reasons I built Charm Collective, because I agree when you're surrounded by other people that don't understand exactly where you are, or even let's say you're making $20,000 a month. Your people in 9-to-5s are like, oh my God, that's so much money. Holy crap. Like, and like, you almost start to feel weird about it, but also you're like, wait, but I'm just scratching the surface on where I want to go. Like, I'm not even like, no, like, don't like see the bigger picture. So I think that is so important. But like, what made you think like, I want to look for a community or for mentorship?
I think that it was always in my head of, I need a plan, right? I want to take this further. I don't want to plateau. I don't want to stay where I'm at. And I think the biggest shift for me in my business was realizing that I needed to take my own advice. So I want business owners to make an investment, right? I want them to invest in their business and not wear all the hats at one time so that they can hire someone specialized to do X, Y, and Z. And they, in turn, can have some of their freedom back, some of their time back, and then work on building their business and working on the business instead of in the business. And there was a point where I said, I would be a hypocrite if I didn't do this for my own business, because how am I supposed to support this volume, support these people growing, and then ask them to make that investment in me when I'm not making it back in myself and my business? So that's when I made my first hire. So my account manager, Bella, she's amazing. She's been with me just about a year. She started with me in April of last year. A year, longer than that. A year and a half.
Amazing.
Wow. Okay. Just about. But she's amazing. And at first I went through all of those thoughts of, I'm the only one who can do it. If I do it this way, it'll be better. And I had to let go of that control, which my sister really helped me with too, because she went through this with her business and hiring and building out a team. So that's, I think, where the shift was. And then once I got a taste of having some of my time back and really being able to focus on the creative aspect of where I want the business to go, I was like, wow, if I have people that specialize in these things and build out my team, I'm giving more resources to my clients. Yes, I'm getting some of my time back. And then I don't struggle through these like overworked periods and then burnout. Like I was in that loop for a long time. And then when I came across Charm, I just knew it was the perfect fit. And then before I went on my first call, I was praying and I was like, I really want this to be it. Like this really feels like it. And after I had my call with Presley, like I knew 100%, like whatever I have to do, whatever I have to rearrange to make this work, like I really want to do. And Presley really helped me get through that mindset too. What I loved was that Charm wasn't pushy. Like you guys were like, we need to see if you're a good fit for us too and a good candidate. Like we don't want to sign on with you and we don't think we can help you. And that I think stuck out even more because like you said, it's not a one size fits all. Like it's a really customized plan. And now I have that support. If I look left and right, like I know I have it and it's not so lonely anymore.
Oh, I think that you are so self-aware, which is incredible because I have the same exact mentality and I am always investing in myself. I think I've literally invested definitely between team and coaching and whatever, like over $500,000 in the last, like since I started. And so I am constantly investing in myself because I look at myself as like the greatest ROI that I will ever get. I mean, I'm going to definitely do better than the stock market when I invest in myself and my skills and my team. And I think we just had this conversation earlier today, but when you start to hire and you do so in an intentional way, you're actually leveraging your money and your time because one, if you're getting out of doing $15 an hour tasks, admin tasks, and you want to be charging $150 an hour, like you're gaining back that time where you can focus on revenue generating activities. But also what we've found is in my own hiring process is how to create, bake ROI into each scorecard of every person on my team. So like, how can we make sure your account managers driving a 4x return on investment for you? And I think those, like, once you can look at that, like that's where you get to really start to leverage your time and your money and where things start to really scale, because ultimately in the beginning, when it's just yourself, you're capped at how many hours you have in a day.
100%. I think that you're still seeing things from a, maybe a 9-to-5 type of perspective or just a limited mentality. And that's like where I really needed to get past too. So just like I keep emphasizing the community, but it's so important because how you were saying before, like talking about $20,000 months to people that like work more of a normal job and they're like, that's so much money. And then it's crazy because you could talk to those people about like where you want to go and your vision. And the first thing they do is like make you realize or try to make you think how unrealistic that is because it's unattainable for them at the capacity that they are at. And I sympathize with it because I was there. I remember thinking like that. I remember being like, I'm not having a business. I'm going to have this. I'm going to get a pension. I'm going to this, like the lie I sold myself. And just being around an entrepreneurial mindset, like with so many entrepreneurial women like you, like yourself, just it changes the game. You stop telling yourselves these limiting thoughts and you're kind of breaking them apart through Charm Collective too, which I love. You know, I'm always explaining something to Presley about like, I know you're going to kill me. I know this, like I shouldn't do this. And she's like, I'm not going to kill you. We're just going to rework it. Like you got it. And like, sometimes you need hand holding in that aspect. And I knew I did. I knew I needed that because I wasn't in the position to figure out how to scale on my own. Like I was just getting by with how I have things now. And I knew that. So just finding the right fit was so incredibly important. And I'm so grateful.
I love that. And I think like the fact that it literally is a no judgment zone. I'm like, ladies, I just want to tell you, I've made every mistake that you've made and more. So like, just give it to me. Come on, let's figure it out. Because I always say like, there were no like feminine, it was all like super masculine mentorship and coaching programs that were like, just copy paste DMs, like all these things. And I was like, no, like don't want to do that. So when I created this, I was like, I want it balanced. And I just think like I made every mistake, which allowed me to be a good mentor or like really understand how to create custom paths for women like you, because I'm like, no, there's nothing to be embarrassed about here because anything you've done, I've done it worse.
It's so like freeing to hear that though, because if people have made past mistakes in their businesses, cool. But specifically in this realm, it's not, if you don't understand it, like from doing it, like it's a completely different ballpark. So that's why those copy and paste programs really were not attractive to me at all.
Yeah, I love. So where are you headed? What's like your North Star vision? What do you want?
So I think that the North Star vision thing really like helped me understand, because I didn't even really think that far.
Yeah.
And it helped me to kind of visualize that. I love giving back to the community however I can. I want to focus on like building a life and get married and have children too. And I want that to be sustainable. Like I want to be present for my family, and not be running around or be taking away from doing, like you said, admin tasks and things that just don't support my growth. But yeah, I would love to eventually, fund missions programs or trips. Yeah, I have a sponsor child in Africa, and I love everything about being able to be connected to something like that. It's through World Vision. And my church actually brought that in. And I really want to do some kind of work in partnership with them to try to just bring more resources to those children. And I think just seeing the bigger picture, like how we talked about before, I just want to give back as much as I can. And also, like, I'll be honest, I want to give to myself too. That would be nice.
Yeah.
I would love to go on more vacations, travel, see more of the world. I want to give my future kids, the best life possible. I think as far as like Sync's vision, where I want the business to go, I think that I got out of this limited mentality of working with just clients that are near me.
Local.
And I would love to work with clients in different states or even different countries, like to go do a quarterly shoot in Paris. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like I want to do that.
Yeah.
I really want that.
I love that. We're manifesting here. Love. So you've said like, and this is for anybody listening that's not in Charm Collective, one of the things about the North Star vision is like, we want to get granular. Like, so you want to fund mission trips and all of these things. Like, what is the price tag on that? Like, what do you want to earn annually in order to be able to fund all of these things in your life?
I mean, eventually, like, I'm trying to think of like how I would get there. That's where this is actually an area that I really struggled with.
Yeah.
Like I went back to Presley. I was like, I don't know how to price this out. How do I price out my org chart? How do I price this? She's like, we're going to start
Got this.
one by one. You can do this. Like, get out of your head. You got it. I think I envision the business eventually. You talking about like but the business is earning or what I'm bringing in?
Both.
I would love for the business to be earning somewhere between $500,000 and $750,000 a year. Eventually, that would be
seven
amazing.
figures is what I heard.
Yeah. Love that. Eventually, yeah. I mean,
but I don't think like I hear you are continuing to say eventually. Like I don't think you realize how close you are to that. What is that a month?
Let's do math.
60,000?
Yeah.
No.
See? And this is why this helped me so much, because when I did it and I broke down the numbers, I looked at the yearly and I was like, this sounds crazy. And then I broke down monthly and I was like, actually, that's not that crazy. I'm like, I think a quarter of a way there already.
Literally
more than that, actually.
$62,000, $500 a month is $750,000. 83,333 is $1 million a month. Like you're not giving yourself credit for how close you are to these numbers. So I actually want you to see, instead of this being a far off goalpost, like this could be your reality in the next 12 months.
Yeah, it's so true. And see, this is why having women like this around is so important, because when you're in your day-to-day life, like there's discouragement left and right. There just is. And you have to really like keep your mindset in the right place. It's so important. And breaking it down like that is so, so helpful, because I realized I'm like, that's not that scary. Like I'm a quarter of the way there.
Yeah,
like
you're close.
Like,
you're freaking close.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Just having this, I know I keep repeating myself, I'm a broken record, but the support and there's no price on it.
Yeah.
You can't put a price on being aligned with the people that you surround yourself with.
I love that. I love that. And I've loved having you. If people want to follow your journey, if they want to learn how to work with you, where should they find you?
Yeah. So my Instagram is Sync Digital Marketing, SYNC Digital Marketing. There's a link in my bio, so you can click that and set up a free consultation so that we can chat about your goals for your business. And I would love to see if we're a good fit.
Yeah.
And for any girlies that have any questions or anything, you can always just like shoot me a DM. I'd love to chat.
Amazing. And go check out her Instagram. She's hella talented. She has built an incredible business and you are literally just getting started. Your future is so, so bright. And all of those things that you said that you want to do are a reality that you are way closer to achieving than you even realize. So I am just So grateful to have had you here today. Thanks so much, Nicole.
Thank you for having me. I'm so grateful to be a part of Charm Collective and for us to have had to have such a personal conversation today. And I'm looking forward to where this is going to go. I can't wait to one day maybe give like a little update or something about where we've gotten to. So stay tuned, everybody.
Yay. Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap on today's After Brief. Remember, the luckiest CEOs aren't born, they're built. Now, go make your move, share this with a friend who's ready to win, and I can't wait to see you next time.